Ew. Ew. No. 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 I tried to give this camp thing a try. Nature is gross. I don't like this, so I can't do this anymore. Okay, I gotta go inside. I gave it a try, it just didn't work. I'm not meant for this, it's fine. This is where I belong. This is where I belong, in a house that has limited numbers of bugs, hopefully, air conditioning, even though it's only like 70 degrees outside. You know what, I just like the comfort of knowing my house has air conditioning. I feel like I can breathe easy because I'm not at danger in here having something fly into my head or some gross thing emerging from the ground below me. Anyway, welcome to my channel. My name's Meredith Phillips. I'm a writer, reader, and bunny mama, and this is a day one vlog for Camp NaNo 2021 April edition. I am ready to get started on my work because it is now, what time is it? It's a little after 4 in the afternoon for me. My regular workday has finished and I'm gonna get started to get my hour of writing in for today. It is Thursday, and so if you watched my last video, ding, you'll know that I'm trying to do an hour of writing on 4 days of the week and a half hour of writing on 3 days of the week, and today is one of the days for a full hour. So I do want to get started because I want to have that done and over with before dinner, and also I need to get it done because this vlog is supposed to go up tomorrow because I was a great planner and I thought that would be a good choice for me. So let's go ahead, head over here, get my document pulled up, and get to writing. So what I'm going to start with today is going to be continuing on the scene summaries that I was working on. If you don't know what I'm talking about, I talked about it all in this video. You can check that out later. I am about halfway through my story doing these scene summaries. I would love to be able to finish them in the next hour. I don't know if that's possible, question mark. We'll see how far I can get. They're actually becoming more tricky as I work through the draft because there's more scenes I'm finding that like I need to change in some way. And so then I'm like, do I need to write a scene summary for a scene I know is going to change? You know what I mean? So I am continuing to write the scene summaries almost more for like practice for myself than anything else. So I don't feel like it's a wasted exercise even if I end up cutting something or changing it quite a bit. I think it's useful. So I'm going to keep going with that and see how far I can get in the next hour. The other thing I'm going to do is note my start and end times each day in my planner so that I'm not cheating myself out of minutes. Okay, it is 5:05. I've finished all of the scene summaries. I was kind of surprised that it wasn't that long a process. There were several scenes though that were really short. They were only like 400, 900 words, kind of in that range. So there wasn't, I don't know, it was just easier to summarize something that was already pretty short. Obviously need to expand those for future drafts. So now I've still got about half an hour left of my hour-long work time. And I think what I'm going to do is go back to what I had been doing previous to the scene summaries, and that is to take the highlighted notes that I worked on initially and just sort of organize them so they're not just spread out all over the entire draft. I'm going to put plot-related things in one section of notes and character-related things in another section of notes and that kind of thing. So I'm going to get started on that. I thought of an idea to fix a plot hole that involved one of the characters entering like a design competition. So then I was like, well, wait, what's the entry fee like for a graphic art design competition? Does that exist? I'm sure it does, but I don't know anything about that. So I'm like looking up like basic information. How do these people think that graphic design artists who are entering competitions hoping to get recognized and exposed to a wider audience, how do they think these people have this kind of cash to throw at the super early bird for this particular one, which is heavily discounted, the cheapest entry fee is £216. It's a obviously UK, British competition over here. That's expensive. The most expensive entry fee is over £1,100. Excuse me. I'm offended on behalf of graphic artists out there. That's a lot of money. Dang. I found another one that has slightly more reasonable pricing of $130. Okay, that seems a little more within the realm of like fair to me. My gosh, that other one was really expensive. I've never entered like a writing competition or anything like that. I know those exist, but I've never entered one. If you have any experience with writing competitions, what are the entry fees like? I have no clue. Tell me if you know. What are the entry fees for writing competitions? I can understand having a fee to enter a competition because I think, you know, if it was just open to anyone with no fee, then you'd have like a billion entries that probably most of which are not going to be very good. And of course, there are people who need to be compensated for their time, I would assume, in judging entries, especially for writing. You know, you're having to read through some lengthy piece depending on what the competition is. But anyway, I'm just blown away by this one. It's so expensive. Oh my gosh. Okay. But that does work really well for the story that I think I'm gonna go with. So good for me, not great for the artists entering that particular competition. All right, so it has been an hour. I did some scene summary work. I did some thought plotting, plot hole creation, filling in plot hole thinking stuff. I did a little bit of research to see if the plot hole fix that I thought of would actually work. I'm going to think about it a little more and kind of see how I think that might work out, but I actually think it might. But yeah, did my hour for my first day of camp, feeling good. It was, I will say, a little bit rough making myself sit down and get started. But I think one thing, if you're struggling or you're like, oh my gosh, I don't know, you know, you're kind of doing that whole thing. It's like pushing a pallet of paper, which might not be something that you are familiar with, but I am. I've pushed a pallet of paper. I've pushed a lot of pallets of paper before. I'll put a picture in. A pallet of paper, in case you don't know. And in case you're wondering, I work for an office supply company, so that's why I know this. But a full pallet of paper is 40 cartons. Each carton, it has 10 reams of paper in it. A whole pallet weighs a literal ton. And if you have a manual pallet jack, which is not a motorized pallet jack, you have to do all the work yourself essentially. If you're pushing one of these pallets of paper, the most difficult part is getting it going. You're pushing a literal ton of paper. Pushing it hard enough to get it rolling is difficult. You have to use not just arm muscle, but honestly like leg muscle to like push yourself off the ground to get it going. But once you have that ton of paper moving across the ground, it's not actually that hard to continue pushing it to the end of the hall or even turn it around a corner or something like that. It's a little difficult to stop it sometimes. Usually you can stop it even easier than it is to get it going. So anyway, writing can sometimes be like pushing a pallet of paper. This was a labored metaphor, but that's okay. Getting started with writing can sometimes be like pushing that pallet of paper. It is incredibly difficult to just get it started. But once you get it started, it rolls by itself. with the momentum that you've created. I hope your first day of camp went really well. I hope your second day of camp is going well or will go well if you haven't started any work yet today. Let me know how your first day went or your first weekend if you're a little bit farther into the month than I am currently. If you liked this video, give it a thumbs up, and if you haven't already, click the subscribe button. I post videos on Tuesdays and Fridays. You can also find me over on Instagram at Meredith Phillips Writes, and you can head over to my website, meredithphillips.com, to sign up for my newsletter, which will be going out very soon. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next Tuesday. Bye. So what I'd like to start doing right now today, sort of like, you're doing great. Okay, so I am going to cut it for here. Don't know what that means.